So since today is Earth Day, I decided to make a fun little Earth Day craft with you guys. This is just a simple little pom-pom that I made with a blend of blue and green to make it look like the Earth. So what you're gonna need is some blue yarn, some green yarn, some really sharp scissors, and a piece of cardboard. So notice this side is 2 inches, this side's roughly about 4 inches. So you just need a piece of cardboard. Alright. So for the blue, I used about 6 arms lengths of yarn. And then for the green, I did about 3. So that's when you just grab the yarn and pull it out as far as you can from one end of your arm to the other. So this one for blue I did 6 and green I did 3. Okay, so you're gonna grab your piece of cardboard. When you're making pom-poms, this measurement is typically how big you want your pom-poms, and I found that using at least 8 arms lengths is best for 2 inches. That way you get a nice full pom-pom without it looking too raggedy. So you're gonna start with your piece of cardboard and take one end of your yarn. You're gonna lay it on top just like this so that the ends meet. Hold the one end and then you're just gonna wrap it around. Okay, I'm about 15 wraps in. Now I'm gonna take my green and put it with my blue and start wrapping them together. And then once you get to the end of your blue, I unwrap just a bit, probably about a foot. And I cut that off. This is what we're going to use to tie it all together. So now you're going to slide your yarn off. And the yarn stays pretty good together. So you just wiggle this all out. Now you have your yarn. I'm going to turn it this way because you're going to want to tie it. And that's how we get our pom-pom. So I lay it roughly about the middle. Then I turn it over. And then we're going to just tie a regular knot. I'm going to check in with the other side, make sure it's still where I left it. Now you're going to tie it as tight as you can. Hold it in place, do another knot. And there we go. So now, this is where your scissors come in. See how it makes 2 loops on either side? You're just going to cut all of your loops. And this is why you need sharp scissors. Typically I like to do this over a trash can just because I know there's going to be little pieces everywhere. But for the sake of the video, then I'll just do it on the table. Alright, see how it all fluffs out? I'm going to go back and look and make sure I didn't miss any loops because sometimes I do that. I like this one right here. I missed a loop right here. Okay. Alright. So you should see in the middle is where we tied it. We're going to kind of flatten it out like this. Now you're going to trim off all the excess. So you can also cut out a piece of cardboard and try and use that as your guide. I don't, because I've been doing it for quite a while. So if you need to use a circle, that would be beneficial if it's your first time. So use it as a guide like this to cut all the way around. And be careful that you don't cut the two that you used to tie it just yet, because keeping it is beneficial for some projects. Like if you're gonna make garland, it's nice to have that tie off that you can tie to other things. And this is why you can see it gets kind of messy, so I usually like to do it over the trash can. Okay, and you could always make it even tighter too. So now that I cut it from this direction, it is a circle, so I'm going to turn it, flatten it out this way, and cut it into a circle shape as well. So you can kind of see it's almost, at least this way, it's a little more oval shaped. And hey, this is good training for when your husband asks you to cut his hair for him because he can't go to the barber shop. Alright, so there is my Pom Pom inspired by Earth Day. Shout out to my mother-in-law. She was born on Earth Day, so wish her happy birthday Bonnie. And so these strings left over, like I said, if you're gonna make garland with the pom-poms, and it's easier to use these than to tie another piece of string to the pom-pom. If you don't need it for anything, then you just chop it right off. So alright, thank you guys for watching. I hope you make some pom-poms. It's pretty easy and simple. It does take some practice with trimming in, and I do advise that you do it over the trash can, because then there's less of a mess, because there's so yarn sheds quite a bit. So, but thanks guys, thanks for watching.